next presenter. Again, could we just settle down in the back? I know you're excited. I know you're excited. And those of you online, you can be as loud as you want. We can't hear you. Allison Smithson. Alice, oh my God. Okay, let's start. I'm going to start over. All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Alan Smithson is the CEO of Metaverse, not the one that you're thinking of. A global virtual, augmented, and mixed reality consulting and product development company. He's also the co-founder of XR Ignite Hyper Accelerator and the host of XR for Business podcast. He's here today to talk to you about Vanity AI, a VFX solution for Hollywood. So please welcome Alan Smithson.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, my name is Alan Smithson. I'm not the CEO of Metaverse. We actually acquired a technology company back in 2019. We acquired a technology company that became our Metaverse engine, and Metaverse is a 3D creation platform for the future of human communication, collaboration, commerce, and culture. And I'm super excited today to come and present to you on AI and the Metaverse. So what you're seeing right here now is actually a software program called Microdose VR. It's from an artist called Android Jones, and Android Jones is known for his kind of big art pieces where you can kind of go in and be fully immersed in fractals. This is AI-generated art. It's every time you paint, it's kind of like tilt brush. If you've ever used VR, you paint, and it paints in fractals. So this is all happening, well, not real time, but it's was recorded real time, and it's all spatial. It's super, super cool. If you ever get a chance to use Microdose VR, it's really amazing. So with that, I'm going to be talking about AI and the Metaverse. And every image that you see in here was developed on or created with Midjourney version 5. I've been using Midjourney for the last year, and I'm super happy with 5. It gets really amazing results. This particular image was actually, I said, from a microscopic position, take an image from inside of a computer looking out at a beautiful vista. And this is what it came up with. So you're inside of a computer looking out. There are over 5 billion people on the internet today. So we are at an interesting time in human history. Not only is more people online than ever before in human history, but we've reached a point where these technologies are starting to help us with creativity, with our workloads, and all of these things are starting to compound on each other. The Metaverse, if you haven't heard, is a fast-growing multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. And all of these companies have done reports now saying that this will be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. I don't know what that means in terms of what we're doing here. I don't have trillions of dollars yet, but I guess we're working towards that. Wow. This was a VR, some sort of AR headset that I saw that I got to try many years ago. But yeah, it's staggering figures that we're seeing here. Give me 1 second. So the age of AI has begun, and the reason I started with this is because it's actually from Bill Gates. Bill Gates wrote a 5-page essay on the future of AI and the age of AI and how it will impact healthcare and workforces and education. So if you haven't already done that, he believes that artificial intelligence is as revolutionary as mobile phones and the internet. And I actually had a discussion with my one of my co-founders the other day, and he likened AI to the creation of fire. This is not something that will just be a passing fad like NFTs. This is really going to impact everyday life for all of us moving forward. Artificial intelligence refers to a model created to solve a specific problem and provide a particular service. So what that means is up until now, what we've had is point solutions. I have, maybe I want to track pharmaceutical shipments through the manufacturing chain. I want to increase my manufacturing. You can use AI really, really well for point solutions. But what we're really working towards is artificial general intelligence, which is kind of, we're seeing a glimpse of it with ChatGPT, meaning you can ask it pretty much anything and it will give you some answers. So it refers to software that's capable of learning any task or subject. And we're seeing the really early days of this. I believe that we, as a species, as a technology-driven humanity, as of November 30th, 2022, the world changed. The world is no longer the same as what it was. So today I'm going to be going through 5 key learnings. 1, how AI and the metaverse intersect, how AI is being used today, what are the best tools to build, the best AI tools to build the metaverse, who are the best metaverse AI artists so far, and what's next for AI and the metaverse. So where do these things intersect? My definition of the metaverse was really from a technical standpoint. It's really the intersection of three technologies. You have XR, virtual, augmented, mixed reality, 3D, gaming, that type of, all these different technologies. And then you have blockchain, so DAOs, Web3, decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs. You have decentralized finance. You have cryptocurrency, smart contracts. And then you have, of course, AI. And AI is broken into conversational AI, machine learning, computer vision. We'll get into that. So with that, AI and the metaverse. So includes intelligent avatars, being able to go into a virtual world and have a conversation with an avatar that's more than just, hey Siri. Anybody's phone go off? Hey Google. Oh, my phone just went off. We're going to see massive personalization, not only in education, which would be awesome. Retail, we're already seeing that. Entertainment, Netflix already uses suggestion algorithms to deliver you better content, but also healthcare. We're going to drill down to keep you healthy using these technologies. Content creation, virtual assistants, and of course, predictive analytics. AI is the ultimate prediction machine. When you want to know what's going to happen in the future, you can use AI and some data set of whatever data you want to better predict the future. The better the data, the better predictions. Pretty simple. Now, these technologies, I will read them, but I'm not going to go through each one individually. You'll see some examples. So right now, we're really everybody's gung-ho about generative pre-trained transformers, or GPT. We're on GPT-4 now. It wasn't supposed to come out till July, so you can already see how compressed time is now. It's getting crazy how fast these things are coming along. And one of the main reasons why things are moving so fast is because the scientific community who's building these are sharing the papers. So you want to know how GPT works, you can get the paper, you can start reading, you can read the follow-up papers, and everybody's sharing this knowledge, and it's really, truly magical to watch. Generative AI, we saw some presentations earlier today about kind of text to image, text to video, but really what we're talking about is text or audio to everything. I want text to image, text to audio, text to video, text to 3D, text to virtual worlds. It's all going to be available, and most of it is available already. Automated content creation, being able to just say what you want and it builds it for you. We're already in the very, very early days of this. Somebody said something to me recently, it was shocking. They said, as of in the last 6 months, we've created more art than all of previous human history. And you think about that for a second, that's insane. So automated content creation is at scale already. Natural language processing, being able to understand what we say, but also understanding how to talk back to us in a way that's natural. Computer vision, your phone is already packed full of sensors, gyroscopes, accelerometers, cameras, LiDAR. All of these together give you what's called a sensor fusion, and being able to know where your phone is in 3D space, or eventually glasses, you'll be able to understand where to put 3D objects in your space so that you're playing Pokemon and they can hide behind people and you're like, oh crap, I got to go around the tree. So these things are a really important part of AI in Metaverse. Machine learning, simultaneous location and mapping, knowing where objects are. It's kind of up there with computer vision as well. Suggestions algorithms we talked about. Has anybody heard of neural radiance fields, NERFs? So that's a new technology that's coming out. There's a few of you here that understand that. Neural radiance fields, or NERFs, are being able to take a video. You can walk around, take a quick video, and it'll take an algorithm and create a 3D world out of that video that you can actually put in VR or in a 3D space and walk around it. It's truly revolutionary technology. And before, let's say we wanted to make a 3D version of this room, we'd have to take maybe 10,000 photographs of the room, put it through an algorithm, and it would spit out a 3D model. With NERFs, you can just take a video, because what it's doing is it's taking the video, breaking it down to frames per second, and giving you this. And of course, coding assistants. Microsoft just introduced Copilot. They've actually introduced Copilot a while back in GitHub, but now all of the Microsoft tools are bound with I'm calling it Bing GPT. And so you can get cool stuff like this. This is, I put in Star Trek Spock at a rave with lasers. And this is what you got. So how's it being used today? We talked about nerfs, and here's a nerf. I'm going to unmute it because I think, one second, I think there's some sound here.
Loved spending Lunar New Year with my family.
So all of this was taken using a nerf, so there's no way you could possibly get these camera angles in real life. You couldn't go through somebody's arm like this. So this was taken from a nerf, and then in post you can fly the camera through the nerf. And of course that's AI art.
The rabbit with McDonald's. You can experience this 3D art in your own living room. Scan the code to
So you can scan the code. So Karen Chang, if you don't follow her on LinkedIn, she's a really amazing artist. She's always building cool stuff on the edge of this technology. Here, I'm actually going to turn that down just a touch. So this is a generative art going through the history of humanity. And if you look at it, I mean, it's just, I'm not going to say anything. It gets a little dystopian at the end there. And finally, after cryptocurrencies and the internet, 3D printing, we end up in space. How cool is that? So you can see how, just something as simple as a piece of art can evoke emotions and really can draw you in. And I think what we're going to see is we're going to see virtual worlds be created this way. We're going to see virtual characters be created this way, and unlimited amounts of really cool art. This was announced yesterday. I'll just let him talk. 1 second here. How do I get rid of that thing?
But the simulations are computationally very expensive. So what you see here is taking around a minute per frame to solve. So wouldn't it be great if we could have this level of deformation complexity but able to evaluate in real time? Well,
that's not a human, by the way.
Is to use machine learning to compress that simulation data into a format that can be evaluated.
This used to take 1 minute per frame, and they're using ML now to do it real time.
By full muscle, flesh, and cloth simulation from Houdini. It's running in real time and on PS5. It's taking around 1/10 of a millisecond on CPU for network inference, and as you see it here, around 1 millisecond on GPU for more target evaluation. So this is a fully generalized model. We have not just trained it on the cinematic animation that we can see here.
So this was this came out. I'm going to stop it there. This came out yesterday or 2 days ago at GDC. If you haven't followed what's going on at GDC, go definitely watch the NVIDIA keynote. The Unreal Engine keynote. It's just mind-blowing stuff that's coming out. And all of this is using machine learning algorithms to speed up the process. This is an example of SLAM. This is using our engine. The ability to use your phone or your camera, understand where a ground plane is, and then put, in this case, a car on top of it with some bananas next to it. But yeah, the idea is that you now can have the ability to use a low-powered device to project augmented reality into a space. Everybody's got one in their pocket now. 3D asset creation, we haven't quite got there yet, but we're going to get there really soon, where you can take an image, one image, and it'll spit out a 3D object. A lot of people are trying this. It's not really working all that well. I've seen a lot of really poor examples of it, but I think in the next 2 years, this will be the next big thing. Again, taking the ability to use computer vision and overlay graphics on top of that. And you can see here that they've been able to take, a skin of an actual physical bones, and then overlay the skin on top of it using computer vision. This is released again this week as well. Generative AI from Roblox, allowing you to just come up with some crazy ideas and reskin a car. And it's writing the code for this real time, by the way. So, you're just telling it to turn on the lights. Well, obviously it has to go in, find out what a light is, how to turn it on, where to turn it in. And it's writing all this code real time with just a line of input. Incredible stuff. It does, however, still have problems. This is version 5 of Midjourney. It's still not there yet. What are the best AI tools to build the metaverse? Okay, so first of all, there's an AI for that. Literally, there's a website called There's an AI for that, so Google that. It's got 2,775 AIs as of yesterday. But some of the tools related to the metaverse, in search, you've got Bing GPT, Google AI, Chat GPT, OpenAI, text, images, audio, video. I'm not going to read all these. This presentation will be available for you, but you might want to take a picture of this one. Chatbots, natural language processing. If you haven't seen In-World AI, they're building avatar personalities that you can tweak the personality. You can make it angry and mean and, or light, nice and happy. But anywhere in between, you can train it with information, and it'll be like an NPC character, a non-player character in your virtual world, and you can tie it to an avatar, like a Ready Player Me avatar or whatever, and it'll talk to you. It's super cool stuff. Computer vision, there's a company called Hawkeye that's doing really low-power eye tracking and stuff like this, so really, really amazing stuff. Take a picture of that, and we'll move it on. Okay, Futurepedia, this is the largest AI tools directory, according to them. It has 50,000 people, or I don't know what it is, but anyway, this is a new tool, and they're keeping it up to date every day, it seems like, so that's another tool you'll want to kind of find new stuff on. There's like 100 new AI platforms being added a day. It's kind of nuts. Feels like the early days of blockchain. This is really cool. It's called Blockade Labs. It allows you to make, and I did this one earlier this morning, create a fantasy world, and it creates a real-time 360 skybox for you. So this is a skybox maker, and you'll see it load. This is all real-time. I didn't speed it up or anything. And it's just on the web. It's just Blockade Labs, and it'll give you a 360 skybox. And as soon as it's done loading here, you'll see that what did I put? Fantasy Metaverse World with AI. It loads, and there's my Fantasy World 360. And when it first came out, there was like a big seam down the middle. It was like one image. They tried to seam it together. The seam is gone. I don't know what they did, but it's looking amazing now. I wrote an article called The Practical Guide to AI in the Metaverse. If you're interested, it's on Medium. You can sign up from a Medium. I write articles there all the time, but it's really a deeper look at this and kind of dives into each one of these things, so it's not just a quick overview. Who are the best Metaverse AI artists? All right, let's take a look here.
In 2019, an anonymous programmer going by none other than the girl who talks to AI set out to create a simulation of the human brain by utilizing a system known as a Generative Adversarial Network, or GAN for short. GANs essentially become trained through machine learning to take in millions of existing stimuli in order to recreate an idea. In this case, the system was tasked with creating a face, and after prowling through millions of existing photos, it spit out this one. The programmer, however, had a curious idea. Since the AI's entire worldview is constrained by the sum of its inputs, what would happen if it were to slowly forget the very thing it was trained for? And so, with the AI's neurons visualized to the right, she shuts them off one by one until this face distorts into something completely unrecognizable.
So not only are we going to have generative art, but we're going to have degenerative art for us degenerates. Midjourney 1 through 5. I made these this morning. I was watching the presentation. I was like, you know what? Let's do a test. The prompt was Peace on Earth, version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there you go. Version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Laid out as plain as day. It really does make a difference. It's interesting how version 3 kind of got away from the whole planet and the wings and the religious side and just give a nice, beautiful overview. It's interesting how you can prompt the same thing over and over again, and it'll give you different results, which I think is super interesting. And sometimes you want to use the earlier versions to get different results because maybe you want a more stylized thing. And I think the fact that they're supporting all these different versions, it's really excellent. But for photoreal stuff, V5 is definitely the best. All of these images were developed on version 5. So Google is promoting an AI that makes music now. There's 12 songs created by AI that you can go on Google's Arts and Culture page. AI-generated music is really coming to fruition now. There's a bunch of algorithms that'll do it. It's not great, but it's going to get better real fast. It has the entire, library of human music creation to learn from. I thought this one looked really, really good. It's so good. You little marks in the skin. It's getting super clear. Another artist I find just mind-blowing is Rafik Anadol. Have you guys ever seen him?
We are speculating a new project called Quantum
Large
Memories.
format generative AI art
Quantum
for
Memories
buildings.
is using quantum computation, also quantum physics theory, to speculate a machine in near future create alternative nature. It's a speculation of a machine that exists, and this machine has a mind, and this mind itself can speculate
How cool is that?
of nature based on what it learned from humanity.
More art here. There's another
in a
artist.
cycle where it continuously creates new faces that start changing, that fade away, and it observes itself and creates a feedback loop. It's not a rendered video or a curated print or curated images that I pre-selected. It is doing it at that moment, which is a risky thing because it's a system where you have only a certain amount of foresight what it might do. The piece consists of 2 screens, of which one will show more female-looking portraits and the other one more male-looking portraits. And then there is a case which was kind of custom-made for this purpose because, the computer will not mind that is inside because that is, of course, it houses a very powerful machine, which...
So there's the very powerful machine right there. We get to see the inside. I just asked Midjourney, what's inside? It's Intel inside, don't you know? But the most important artist is going to be you, because these technologies empower everybody. And this is what I wanted to get through with this, is that, yes, there are artists that are really pushing the limits of this now, but it's available to everybody now. It's just go to Midjourney, go on Discord, get a thing, go on DALL-E or Stable Diffusion. You can start building stuff right now and making all sorts of cool art. So what's next for AI in the metaverse? We've got future improvements. Of course, we're going to have AI-driven avatars and NPCs. We talked about that. AI-assisted content creation. We're already in the world of that now. Personal AI assistants. I think everything from somebody that helps you write your emails or answer emails or deal with your kind of day-to-day scheduling or flight booking, that type of thing. But also right down to school level where you have an AI assistant for life, and that AI assistant is your buddy, and it learns from you, and it's able to get that. And if you notice, ChatGPT or OpenAI stopped or slowed down the ability to go above 50 messages, because once it kind of gets 50 messages, it gets all confused, and it starts giving you crazy answers. I think what we're going to see is that it's really going to start collecting data around who you are, what your likes are, and really be your personal assistant of the future. So it's really exciting. Enhanced privacy and security. We must figure out a way that my phone knows who I am, other than a 4-digit password. We need to figure this out because privacy and security in an age of AI is going to be a real risk. So I think we're going to see some improvements on that. Analytics and optimization, that's a foregone conclusion. Immersive AI-powered education and training. We're already using AI right now to we do 3D training for one of the largest medical device companies in the world. So we take their CAD models, we convert it to 3D, we'll create the trainings on it. But the text in it and the audio is all generated through AI now. The text comes from their textbooks, and we put it into an algorithm, and it spits out every language, and now it's already in every language. So that's already happening today. Integration of AI-driven services. Just look to Microsoft, and they're putting ChatGPT in everything. Literally everything. And, of course, social experiences. How can AI enhance our social experiences? I think this is a huge opportunity that very few people are kind of studying right now. So how do we create AI social experiences where it just makes it better for all of us? And then, of course, the last one, which terrifies me, is brain-computer interfaces. Has anybody read Ready Player One, the book? Have you read Ready Player Two? So Ready Player 2 investigates what happens if brain-computer interfaces become a thing, and then what could possibly go wrong. It's worth a read. I'll give you a hint. AI takes over. Properly done, it's going to eliminate a lot of current jobs. That is true. Shit. How ChatGPT will destabilize white-collar work. Today, Accenture announced, I think, 19,000 layoffs. Facebook announced another 10,000 layoffs. Microsoft's laying off some people. This is not haphazardly done. If people can be more productive using these technologies, you need less people. So it's going to destabilize our society. It's not to say that there won't be a net gain in jobs. There will be a net gain in jobs. The problem is it's happening so fast that how do you reskill and retrain people for this new coming wave of technology? So AI in education, this is going to be a huge part of how we learn right now, and I'll show you actually here in one more slide. We're at this precipice. And when I found ChatGPT the first night, I stayed up all night on November 30th. All night. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And the last thing I did before getting on my flight the next day is I sent my kids a message and I said, you'll never use this and you'll never write another essay again. But, caveat, understand what you submit. It's like the calculator, and you'll see that in a second, where we can be afraid of it or we can embrace it. We're going to see a lot of AI regulation. I'm just going to read this because this is the blueprint for the AI Bill of Rights from the United States government, the Office of Science and Technology Policy. Among the great challenges posed to democracy today is the use of technology, data, and automated systems in ways that threaten the rights of the American public. Algorithms used in hiring and credit decisions have been found to reflect and reproduce existing unwanted inequities or embed new harmful bias and discriminations. The data sets are trained on data that is biased. We know this. So we must work towards a better future of making sure that we have ethical guidelines and principles around building these technologies that will impact billions of people. AI-generated images from text can't be copyrighted, the U.S. government rules. This was recent, March 16th this came out. I threw it in here last minute from the last presentation. I was like, yes, it's going to be a problem. They've left the door open to say, maybe in the future there is a way to do it, but as of right now, you cannot copyright images or art generated by AI, according to the U.S. government, of course. So, in 1988, math teachers were protesting against calculator usage. In 2023, New York City schools ban AI chatbot that writes essays and prompts. I feel like we're going to, start smashing the looms again. If you don't know that, look up Luddites. I want to just say thank you again. Metaverse is a 3D creation platform for the future of human communication, collaboration, culture, and commerce. And our mission is Metaverse creation for everyone. And I'm pretty excited to announce that as of June 1, we will be making our Metaverse engine available publicly, Metaverse Engine 2. It'll be out in June at AWE, so I'm very excited about that. It's just metaverse.com if you want to sign up for early access to that. Thank you very much, everybody. And if you, when you get a copy of this, there's also resources. All the links to everything is on there as well. So feel free to connect with me on the LinkedIns.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Why don't you have a seat?
Thanks.
Let's keep that up for a bit.
Sure. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll do this. We'll put the pretty one on in the background. Huh? What?
Oh, right. The questions. fitc.ca/questions.
There you go.
And ask away. We've got a bunch of them here already.
Okay.
I wanted to add that anytime I make a mistake, it's so that we realize how more human this process of interacting in real life is.
I love it. It's great.
I introduced your talk as something about Hollywood and vanity when really it was meant to be AI in the metaverse, but here we are. We're
Hollywood and vanity, it's all good.
That was a fantastic talk. You obviously, I would love to hear you talk a little bit more about how you really felt that first day. You said November when
November
you were playing
30th,
around
yeah.
with ChatGPT. One of the things that you said about, I mean, we've heard lots of quotes like, this is like the next iPhone and other things like that, but you saying that this is like the discovery of fire, that really hit home with me, and I'd love if you could just explain how you felt when you were playing with it. What were you thinking?
The closest analogy I can give is that, I don't know if you guys remember when you were younger and you first got your first console video game. I mean, I grew up in yeah, exactly. So, well, I had one of these when I was a kid, like a joystick from Atari. But the first Nintendo, we rented it because we couldn't afford it. But my buddy and I rented a Nintendo, and we stayed up for the whole weekend playing. And I remember on Monday, I had blisters on my thumbs from playing it. And I think it was that same moment, like I stayed up literally all night. I could not go to sleep. I was just like, holy shit, this thing will answer any question in the world that I ask it, and it will give me an essay. I had it write my wife a love letter because I was going away the next day, and I said, write my wife a love letter saying how much I'm going to miss her when I go to Miami. And it wrote a little love letter. I sent it to her, and I said, compliments of AI. So, I mean, I just...
What was her response?
She's like, you're an idiot.
Awesome.
Hi, hon. She's watching at home.
Yeah, that initial energy.
This is revolutionary stuff, guys, and like I've been playing with AI for maybe about 2 years now, different ones, Stable Diffusion and DALL-E, and I can tell you in the last 6 months, this stuff it's not only getting better, it's like exponentially better. You look at ChatGPT 3 versus 4, and then 4 connected to the web is like a whole different ballgame, and so the speed at which this is happening, I think, is the real magic sauce of this, because it's not just that it's happening, it's that it's happening faster than anything in human history. ChatGPT is the fastest growing app ever to get to 100 million users.
And it's starting to use itself to get better, which
so
is one
here's
of
the
the
flywheel.
things.
So you have chips. So NVIDIA makes chips, GPUs, and these types of things, and all. There's chipsets. And those chipsets power better AI, and that better AI is being used to design better chipsets, which is being used to power better AI, and now you have a flywheel of exponential. I would almost say we're going to enter into double exponentials soon.
Double exponentials.
Yeah.
Whew, okay.
Does that go backwards then? Are we like a quantum loop? Can we go back in time using AI?
Yeah,
I had a weird conversation at South by Southwest at 4 a.m. with a guy about how to use quantum technology to actually send messages back in time to yourself.
Well,
South by Southwest is weird.
Let's try it.
Yeah, of course we're going to try it.
I think this question, you touched on this a bit, but I think this is an important question from Jody. I've noticed there seems to not be a lot of racial diversity in a lot of these products. What steps are being taken or could be taken to promote more diversity? You touched on the biases. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on that?
We need to empower and educate and share this technology with students of all types everywhere in the world. OpenAI's, if you haven't seen it, they have a whole charter. It's very short. It's about a page long. But their charter is basically AI should be available to everyone. But the training data is usually biased because it's a bunch of middle-aged white dudes in Silicon Valley making stuff, right? And then you have people in India sitting there, again, middle-aged Indian guys, answering yes or no on these questions. So we have a real bias towards the data sets that are trained on, but I think the real true way to do this is to use something like a metaverse world where you can show up to a classroom as an avatar. I don't care what color you are, where you're from, what your socioeconomic status is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what country you're from. You can show up on any device and be equally regarded around the world. And that's one of the reasons why we built Metaverse Engine, is to power that. We want to build a new education system, one that is free from these kind of biases as much as possible. I mean, obviously, it's really hard to eliminate all bias, but I actually wrote an article a year ago called The Metaverse Manifesto about the ethics and principles for building a better Web3. So, yeah, you can take a look at that. It gives you some guidelines and principles around that.
That's on your Medium.
It's on my Medium, yeah.
account.
Yep.
How do people find you on Medium?
LinkedIn's the easiest way. Just Alan Smithson on LinkedIn. If I don't add you, just ping me twice because I'm at the limit of LinkedIn. There's a cap for some reason. But yeah, you can always follow me and you'll see. I post daily of all the stuff that I see. I think I've posted already 4 times today because that's how fast the stuff's coming out. So it's crazy.
Well, that's a good segue into how has this tech evolved to add value in the entertainment
in entertainment.
industry?
Well, I think Netflix and Amazon are already using it to deliver better content. Like if I go on my channel on Netflix, it's like shoot 'em up movies. If I go on my wife's, it's people holding hands and walking on the beach kind of thing. That's already happening. But I think we're also seeing the technologies in the creation. So we're already seeing now a lot of virtual characters being brought in. I didn't show. There's some new stuff that came out recently that. You can create entire characters. You can, use instead of a full mocap system, you just use a camera. There's one called Move.ai, and they can use. I think it's down to 3. It used to be 6. 3 iPhones, and you can fully track somebody. Do you know how long? Like that would have been a year ago, maybe 50 OptiTrack tracking, sensors around you. Now you can do it with 3 iPhones. It's bonkers. So, yeah.
So what are you and Metaverse working on right now in the AI XR space?
Sure. We're still working through that ourselves. We're definitely going to include blockade for Skybox because our system allows you to drop in any Skybox. So why not have a generative Skybox? That's kind of cool.
That's the thing you showed.
The 360 Skybox,
the
the 360 image. So a Skybox is just basically a giant sphere that you can use for reflecting light off of objects in a 3D scene. But by being able to just generate one on the fly, like. Oh my God, this is crazy. I used to have to go and find somebody that took a 360 photo and, that's not quite right. We'll go into Photoshop, we'll edit it. Now I just go, no, it's done. In 3 seconds, it's done. It's crazy. So that's one way. We're really keeping our eye on image, so 2D image to 3D objects. There's probably a half a dozen companies working on that. Nobody's really cracked the code on that yet. We're keeping a close eye on that. And then, of course, there's a company called anything.world. And you can literally type in, I want a world with 15 chairs and 6 fish and a palm tree, and it'll create you a 3D world. Now, it's super low poly, and it's very cartoonish, but it works.
And you can just put that into...
Yeah, it just creates a GLTF. You just drop it in, done. So yeah, these things will all be embedded in our system at some point as they get better.
So more about your expertise. When you showed that Venn diagram, one of the questions here is, can you give a specific example of how combined AI, blockchain, and XR can impact predictive analytics? I don't know.
All 3?
Yeah.
Sure. So we're actually doing a project. We're building the world's largest virtual mall. It's 100 floors, 100 million square feet. One of the problems is when you have a 100 million square foot mall, how do you find anything? So we're going to be using AI suggestion algorithms so that when you're in the mall, it gives you better things to go find versus your friends. How we're tying that to blockchain is you can buy physical and or digital goods in fiat and or cryptocurrency. So you have the ability to buy a physical T-shirt or one for your avatar. You can pay with your Visa, MasterCard, or cash, or a cash equivalent, or 95 different cryptocurrencies. So that's one way. The other way, we're actually tying real physical retail into this. So our first brand partner we just announced at South by last week was Mars Wrigley. They have floor 2 of the mall, and they're going to be doing the Starburst Juicyverse. So what they're able to do is now we're in a store. You have a store display with a QR code. You scan it. It takes you into the mall virtually. You can walk around in your little avatar. You can buy, get your Juicyverse shirt. You can do all these exercises. And then it gives you an NFT that gets put in your Apple or Google Wallet. You can take that to the store for a real-time discount. So we're going from real world to digital, back to the real world, being able to keep track of that customer engagement all the way through.
That sounds kind of crazy. It's sort of fun.
It's been an enormous amount of work, to be honest.
I believe.
There's a lot of technology to make it that simple, yeah. So you don't need you don't have to go and get a MetaMask and write down your 24-word seed phrase and, yeah. It just goes right into your Apple Wallet.
One of the questions here from Jill is, how do you believe AI tech will or is changing audiences' experiences and I guess expectations between the mediums of film and television. And also, I mean, just the idea of the metaverse, so like you said, walking around in a 1 million square foot mall, you know, sporting a new shirt, juicy shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
How does this change our expectations? And
I think one of the big things that, and I touched on it a little bit, is like natural language processing. When I'm walking around a virtual world, maybe I go into a store and I want to talk to somebody. I want to call, hey, can you help me? And very few stores in the world, except for maybe Amazon Go or maybe some, a few small stores, but very few stores in the world have no employees. Imagine walking into a store and you're walking around and you're like, holy crap, there's nobody here to help me. I mean, maybe the Bay has that from time to time, but, to be honest, like you wouldn't go in a store and have no employees. So why would you go into a virtual space if you're like Walmart and have nobody there to serve your customers? This doesn't make sense. But having said that, some people, especially younger people that are used to NPCs and gaming, they don't want to talk to a real person. Maybe they want to talk to an AI. So having both options is really important. I think that's going to power the future of commerce for sure, as well as entertainment. Because if you have an AI, avatar in your world that you can talk to and like chase around, hey, follow me, let's go on an adventure, and it runs away, and you got to follow it, and it's gonna be cool.
I think one of the questions here from Ben is about. He's basically saying it feels like the metaverse kind of peaked maybe last year. Or just the buzz around it. How do you foresee AI accelerating that, igniting that again? It feels like just the example that you just gave of
Sure.
having an AI companion in this space.
Creating metaverse worlds, virtual worlds, creating video games, these are hard things to do. And a modern AAA video game can be anywhere between 50 and 100 million, maybe even more to build the game, and then another double that for marketing. I think what you're going to see is these technologies are going to democratize the creation of virtual worlds, games, applications. We built a game engine. Forbes called us the game engine that means business, because we actually focused on the business applications in training, marketing, retail, and meetings and conferences, instead of focusing on games. So I think the people in pick any major corporation, any massive enterprise, they're not used to making video games, but now with these technologies, they'll be able to use that that gaming style world or 3D to build better training, better marketing, better retail. And I think enabling everybody to be a content creator at scale is really what these technologies unleash.
Does that mean that there will be a glut of mediocrity, or does that mean that?
Oh my God! There's an article that came out yesterday. GPT is the something of mediocrity. Literally, like the precursor to global mediocrity.
The democratization just means there
will be a lot of shitty content. Yes,
doing okay stuff.
There's a lot of crappy content in the world. It always has been, and the best content floats to the top, like everything else. And you're gonna have your top 1%, like anything else. But I think if you're training somebody, look, if you're doing education, for example, your kids, if you have children, your education system that we pay taxes into is competing with AAA games, Hollywood movies, and social media. Good luck, teachers, trying to compete with those three. Like, here's a textbook. What? So I think we have to leverage these technologies and these tools to let everybody be a creator. And maybe it's not going to be AAA games, but maybe it can just be a better learning experience, or a better, a retail experience, or a better meeting, and more engaging. So I think we're just going to, everything just gets better. Even though there's a glut of mediocrity, that mediocrity is way better than what it was before. So, yeah.
One last question, again around equity, mostly about access. So AI and these tools still feel like they're in the realm of needing specialized equipment, although it appears that is changing very, very fast, especially with GPT for plugins. What's your thought? What is your thought?
All of this is being done in the cloud, which is why OpenAI took, I think it's a $10 billion investment from Microsoft. Probably, if I had to guess, I don't know, but if I had to guess, that half of that's probably in Azure credits. all this stuff's being processed in the cloud. So you can do it on any crappy phone, and you can use ChatGPT. That's their whole mission. And our mission at Metaverse is Metaverse creation for everyone. So we built our rendering technology that works on any phone, computer, tablet, or device. It's not rendered in the cloud, so you don't have to pay streaming costs. We actually do it on device, and it took us years to figure out how to make it render on a mobile phone over a browser. So now we're not beholden to the app stores as well. So it took years of development to make it that easy to work on all devices, and the same thing with OpenAI. They want to make it available to everybody. So I think the technologies, as long as you have a modern smartphone or somewhat modern smartphone, you should be able to do that. Now, if you don't have internet, which still a large percentage of the world doesn't have, even in North America, then you're screwed. So I think we still have other problems that we need to fix, and I think the U.S. government just announced a multi-billion-dollar initiative to fund more rural areas having AI, having internet, and also Starlink is opening up places where they don't need to run cables; they can just have a satellite dish on your roof.
It's almost becoming a human right.
I think it is up there for sure. If you look like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you can get rid of food and just put power and Wi-Fi at the bottom. Like you can order food with those two. Man, the Magic School Bus is a thing. Like, the thing is VR, everybody, the Metaverse is great, it's the best thing. And then, I wrote an article, or I posted something yesterday that says, the Metaverse is dead, long live the Metaverse. Like, how many articles is like, it's dead, it's great, who cares? I don't listen to the media. I can tell you that massive hype wave that happened last year inspired armies of people to work in these technologies. All the technologies I mentioned today, whether it's 3D rendering or AI avatars, like all of those things. What do you think, just because AI is the hot new topic that people stopped working on these things? No, they continued working on it. They just added AI to make it faster. So it's not like, the Metaverse is dead or these types of things. It's just, it's going to be a long, decade-long process to go from the internet that we know today, where it's just kind of 2D passive internet where we can watch videos and we can scroll up and down, left and right, to I can walk inside the internet can come out as a 3D object into my world, and also I have full autonomy to create in it. Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3, you went from kind of read, write, to read, write, and own. And so now you're able to own and trade digital assets, so you can become part of the creator economy. And you're already seeing this with TikTok's creator account, and yesterday Unreal Engine just announced they're giving 40% to creators on Fortnite Creative. Yeah, it's happening.
It's accelerated times, that's for sure.
Oh my God.
There's a lot going on, and that was great.